Good morning to one and all. This is Dr. Vijay Kumar, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering from St. Peter's Engineering College, Hyderabad. Today I am going to discuss the problems from the steam nozzles from Thermal Engineering 2 subjects, Unit 2. In last video we discussed about what is the function of steam nozzles and types, etc. So let us discuss what's the function of the main function of steam nozzles are the the use of the steam nozzle. A steam is a steam nozzle is a passage or varying cross section which converts heat energy of steam into kinetic energy. The main use of a steam nozzle is in steam turbine, which produces a jet of steam with a high velocity. Moreover, no heat is supplied or rejected by the steam during flow through a nozzle. So here the whatever the steam is developed in the boiler is before expanding to the turbine, it is passes through the steam nozzle. So in boiler what happen? Heat is a heat energy. So with the help of nozzle, here heat energy will be converted into kinetic energy. How it is heat energy is converted into kinetic energy in a steady flow isentropic process. In the absence of work transfer, the change in enthalpy is equal to change in kinetic energy. Thus the chief function of the nozzle is to convert enthalpy drop into kinetic energy. So the shape of the nozzle should be such that this conversion is performed with minimum loss. So what are the types of steam nozzles? So the main types of the steam nozzles are convergent, divergent, convergent and divergent. So in case of the convergent is called the which is having the large entrance and tapers gradually up to the smallest section. So which is don't have the throat. But in case of the divergent, it's the large entrance is a small diameter, gradually increasing the diameter up to the exhaust, largest diameter. So convergent, divergent not having the throat, but which is having the throat means in convergent, divergent we have the smallest section is the throat, and the largest entrance diameter and gradually varying up to the throat. From throat to it is increasing, gradually varying, gradually increasing the diameter of the nozzle. And in case of and the convergent divergent nozzles are the used in the steam turbines. The nozzles converge first to the smallest section and then diverge up to exit. The smallest section of the nozzle is called throat. The divergent portion of nozzle allows higher expansion ratio, that is increases pressure drop. So the taper of diverging sides of the nozzle ranges from 6 to 15 degrees. So it means if it is the taper is above 15 degrees, the turbulent is increased. If it is less than the 6 degrees, the length of the nozzle will increase. Let us see the one example problem. In a steam nozzle, steam expands from 4 bar to 1 bar. Initial velocity is 60 meters and initial temperature is 200 degrees Celsius. Determine the exit velocity if the nozzle efficiency is 92%. First we have to understand the problem, and then we have to draw the HS diagram or TS diagram. With the help of the TS and HS diagram, we can calculate the exit velocity of the steam. So I am drawing the HS diagram of the steam flow through nozzle. So enthalpy, entropy, enthalpy versus entropy. What he has given? He has given the two pressures, 4 bar. So 4 bar is the before entering to the nozzle, the steam having the 4 bar. So it means the exhaust of the boiler contain 4 bar pressure. So 4 bar and 1 bar. So this is the 1, 2. So this is the 4 bar pressure and it is the 1 bar pressure. So we know the at 1 it's a 60 meter per second. Before entering the nozzle, the velocity of steam is the 60 meter per second. Then find out the velocity of the exit, velocity of steam at exit of the nozzle, and also is given the temperature (200°C). We have to calculate the V2. So what is the exit velocity formula? Square root of 2000 efficiency of nozzle factor into H1 minus H2 plus V1 square. So for calculating the exit velocity of nozzle, square root of 2000 into efficiency factor, coefficient factor, or we can write friction factor, and change in enthalpy plus initial velocity square. Now we have to find out we know the initial velocity and the friction factor. So that is nozzle efficiency is given 92%. So friction factor is 0.92. Friction factor is 0.92. Now we have to find out the H1 and H2. We can find out the H1 and H2. So this is the H1 and this is the H2. So we can find out by using the steam tables or Mollier diagram. So in case of the Mollier diagram, it shows the y-axis is the enthalpy and x-axis is the entropy. At 200°C, 200°C line, wherever the curved line, wherever the intersect the 4 bar line, so that is the point is the state 1, which is perpendicular to the H1. So or draw the horizontal line from the intersecting point is the H1, and draw the vertical line from the state 1, from state 1 to draw the vertical line wherever the intersecting the 1 bar pressure line, so that is the state 2. So draw the horizontal line, so that is the H2. We can directly we can calculate it from the Mollier diagram, or else we can utilize the steam tables. So we require the H1 and H2 at 4 bar and 1 bar. Let us see the steam tables. So steam tables contain 5 saturated water and steam tables. Saturated water and steam table in case of the temperatures. First one shows the temperature values, second one pressure values, third one superheated steam values, and third, fourth, fifth are shows the superheated steam values of the specific volume, specific enthalpy, specific entropy. We require based on the data, it is a 200 degrees Celsius, so it is superheated steam. So in case of we want to calculate the superheated steam, the specific enthalpy of superheated steam. So that is a page number 18 to 20. We require the we require the 4 bar pressure. At 4 bar pressure, so it starts from 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4. At 4 pressure and 200 degrees Celsius, so 1, 2, 3, fourth one. So from 200 degrees Celsius, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 4 bar pressure and 200 degrees Celsius, the H1 is the 2860.4. So H1 equals to 2860.4 kilojoules per kg. Now directly we calculated the H1. For calculate, then how we are calculating the H2? By using the steam table, there is a formula. For calculating the H2, HF2 plus HF, so X2 into HFG2. Here HF2 is nothing but enthalpy of feed water, dryness fraction at state 2, and vapor mixture, the enthalpy of vapor mixture at state 2. So for calculating the H2, we require the dryness fraction at 2. Dryness fraction at 1 is the X1 value is the 1, and we have to assume X1 value is the 1, and we have to calculate the X2. For calculating the X2, we can calculate by here let us see the HS diagram. Here entropy at 1 equals to entropy at 2. By equating the entropy at 1 and entropy at 2, we can calculate the enthalpy at 2, and we can calculate the dryness fraction at 2. So for calculating the enthalpy at 2, dryness fraction at 2, we have to equating the S1 equals to S2. So S1 we can directly calculate it from the steam table at 4 bar pressure. Let us go to the steam table. Specific entropy of Specific entropy of superheated steam. Yes, specific entropy of superheated steam. We require the 4 bar pressure. Yes. So specific entropy of superheated steam at 4 bar 200 degrees Celsius is the 7.171. So S1 equals to 7.171 kilojoules per kg Kelvin.